being 3:30, we'll call the Public Service Committee meeting to order, Monday, July 29th. It's actually 3:33, just to make note of that, the DPW office and 50 Maker Drive. First item on the agenda is the review and approval of minutes, meeting dated May 6th and May 30th, 2024. Motion to approve. All those in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Next on the list would be 34 Court Road for water sewer appeals.
Yep, I had the last one today, I did 5, and a call back 2.
Good day.
Council Walsh.
Well, once upon a time.
You always be Council Walsh.
Thank you for your kind word. It's a different view from this side.
I'm sure.
You're on the wrong end of the table.
Lucky, you're a lucky guy.
Well, I'm ready when you are.
Yeah, absolutely. So what brings you here today?
Well, I've requested, as I indicated in my request to Mr. Arnold, a partial abatement of the sewer portion of the bill dated July 2nd, which I received on the next day. Essentially, the reason for it is that my front yard went through fairly significant damage during the late part of the winter. As a result of, we need to have the plow that does my driveway, because of soft turf.
Yes.
It had lost its frozen quality. When it's frozen, it's not, it's not a problem, but when it's thawed, it got dug up pretty bad. And as a result, there was a lot of repair work that had to be done in the spring that was unusual, unfortunately. And as a result of that repair work, there was a lot of seeding that had to be done, and the fellow that did the work for me was urging me to keep it wet all the time. We didn't have extensive rain to assist in the process during that period of time anyway. So the water usage was much higher than usual. And as a result, the sewer portion of the bill was also much higher than usual. And I'm requesting the bill that I received indicated a usage of 3,400 cubic feet. And I went back and I looked for the same billing period, which I think is the third quarter, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, it's for the period from March to May, through June. And I averaged out the usage during that period of time was 1,800 cubic feet was the average for that same billing period for the last 3 years, I think I used. And so my request is to base the sewer usage, because it didn't go into the sewer system. My request is to abate the sewer portion of the bill so that that 1,800 cubic feet is used for that. And according to my calculation, that would be an abatement of, I think the charge was $170, and the abated amount would be $90. So I'm requesting an abatement of $80, essentially, on the sewer portion. I'm happy to ask any questions.
I think you elaborated quite well. You have a question?
I guess not for Councilor Walsh, but the has the rate, like, are his calculations on?
Yeah, I was just looking at it just generally.
It's 5 cents per
off the top of my
100
head.
cubic feet.
He's correct, and in the past, we've billed for the water that passes through the meter, and if we look at it and did not enter the sewer system, we abate that amount. So his math is correct.
So the recommended abatement would be $80.
$80.
Correct.
Entertain a motion.
Make a motion to pay the bill $80.
Motion made, seconded, all in favor? Take care of that.
Thank you. Will I get an adjusted bill, or should I pay it?
You will.
Okay, very good. I'll pay it on that.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your
See ya.
consideration, I appreciate it. It was a little awkward to come here and do this, but I figured I'm a Shell citizen now, so.
You have a great day.
Okay. I have a question, though, about how is it that these are always billed in even hundreds? Never 1805 or 1806?
It's rounded to the nearest 100 cubic feet, the meters.
Nearest up or nearest down? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Should I ask the next one to come in?
I'll go.
Okay.
Karen?
Take care.
Thank you.
See ya.
2 Church Street, is that the next one?
Yep.
How are you today? Good.
You have a complaint? Oh, I
We don't have anybody from IT here, sorry.
You can get on that, but there's no password.
There isn't? I just didn't try.
Jim, I had an email, I CC'd you on the culvert thing. No, no.
Oh.
Oh, you.
Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. And you?
Good.
Good. Sorry.
No problem at all. Would you like to just explain why you're here today?
Okay, I'm Karen Millett, and my address is 2 Church Street. I got a notice from Christine in the office that my water bill, you know, the 3-month bill was like exceedingly high, and she said, the first one was $400, and then the second one was around $700. And I paid the first one, and she said, can you find anything running? And I said, I can't. I searched the whole house. I had someone come over and look at everything, and there was nothing running that they could find. And one day I went outside to do something on the, I have a hard time going up and down stairs because I need a total hip, so I can't go up and down the stairs to go to the backyard where the one of the hoses is, one of the faucets, and I can't reach anyway. It's up 7.5 feet, and I noticed that there was moisture out there. Well, it was wet on the cement by the cellar door, and there was a drip coming. Not more. It was a little more than a drip. It was a tiny stream coming from that. Now that hadn't been. I mean, no one lives with me. The guy next door comes over and does my lawn for me, but I asked him, he said, well, there was no reason for me to turn a faucet on, but I don't know if there's anything that can be done about it, because it was running, and as soon as it stopped running, I guess my bill went down. I mean, I got him to come over and turn it off because I couldn't get up there. He had to get on a ladder to do it. So, and Lord knows why I was ever put up there to begin with, but that's how I bought the house. I had gone up quite a bit.
And Dan, what's the recommendation from the?
If you look at her usage, it looks like it actually started in, over the winter, like like the later part of the bill that came out in April, that came out in February. Because the usage went from 900, 600, 500, and then all of a sudden it went up to 2,600, and then from 2,600 to 5,600. So it almost looks like it caught maybe the last month of February and then throughout the billing period of May. So, I mean, in fairness, if it didn't enter the sewer system, maybe abate the bill and a bill and a third, say, like the last bill and maybe even part of the February bill.
Yeah, looks like definitely it's gonna spike. All right. Questions?
Is there is there a dollar amount that we're talking about in terms of?
You'd bring the sewer usage down to say, 900, charge it for the water full use, because it did enter the it did go through the meter, but maybe adjust your sewer usage down to say 900 for the last 2 bills. That's just my recommendation.
I do have a lock on my gate now that no one can get in, and I have pictures of how high the faucet is that I can't reach.
So was it turned off from the, he went up and turned it off from the outside, you're saying? It
Yes,
wasn't
from the
inside,
outside, yeah. I have one in the front that I can do in the front yard, but it was, the one I found was the one in the backyard,
When did you purchase the house?
10 years ago,
Oh, okay.
in October. And I mean, I can't turn it on and off. If someone turns it on and off, I've had close to it, water my garden and stuff, but that's.
900 usage for sewage.
Make a motion to move it to 900, for the, you're saying for the last, the recommendation was for the last 2.
Billing in the third, right?
I would do the February bill and the May bill.
For the February and May bill.
Motion made, second. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. All right,
All right.
we'll make that adjustment, they'll let you know, and
You'll get a bill
and
in the mail.
you'll get a bill. You're all
Okay.
set.
Thank you so
No,
much.
thank you for coming in.
Okay.
So I know it's not easy to
No,
get here.
when I saw the people, I went, oh my goodness. So, thank you very much, I appreciate that.
The numbers tell a story, so we're good.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day. You too.
I don't believe 897 Pearl or 65 Reagan is here. I believe
Okay.
It's only 150.
So we can move right to 158 Green.
Yeah, so Baker Brook comes off Ramsdale Pond, it crosses Union, right? She owns all the land around there, I mean, if anything was blocked up, you should get down and pull some stuff out of it.
So did you say it's Mr. 40 years lifespan?
Big team.
Hi, how are you today?
Hi, I'm good, thanks.
Good. Mrs. 40?
Yes.
Paul Sony, and
David.
nice to meet you. What brings you here today?
So we just sold our property at 158 Greenwood. My husband, I believe it was June 5th was the closing. And while we were working on the house, getting it ready to be sold, it was vacant, and we got a phone call, I think from a Karen Hardorn, who was our tenant. She had moved out already, that one of the neighbors said they heard water running, and they kind of walked around the neighborhood to see where it was coming from, and it turned out to be our outdoor spigot had burst. So the fire department went in through a window and shut off the water for us. And then my husband got the water bill, and of course it was excessive. We don't know how long that was broken for, how long it was running for, but my husband just wanted to ask if we could get an abatement on the sewer part of that, because it was outdoors, so the water ran down the hill towards the backyard, and that water did not go through the sewer system.
Dan, I'm looking at, thank you for that. I'm looking at 2021, and I looked at 2023. In February, it looks like 2,300, 4,800. I don't know, was there an issue, or was there an abatement in 21?
I don't recall.
There was,
Any other tenants?
there were times, one of our tenants was an elderly man who was not capable of doing anything. He had lived there for 20 years before we even bought the house.
Mhm.
So but I think it was either his toilet or Karen's toilet that had a running problem in the past, and my husband had gone to fix toilets at different times. So we never asked for abatements on those kind of things, because we knew what the problem was. That there was actually water being wasted through toilet fixtures.
Thank you. Dave, thoughts on this?
Just roughly, if you look at the past usage, it averages right around 2,000. My recommendation, because it did not enter the sewer system, would be to abate, maybe 6,800 of the sewer portion.
Make motion to pay $6,800 from the last bill. So it'd be 2,000, right, 22, yeah.
Motion made, seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We'll take care of that.
All right, so since the house has already sold, of course, the bill got paid, so how?
Well, we can be sure that her name is on the check.
Okay, which is your word check.
So you'll just send the
Yeah,
check back, that's what I figured, I just
Yeah,
wanted
because
to
her name is still
confirm.
attached to that bill.
Right, yeah, it might be my husband's, because I, try to, I'm just here because he couldn't be here.
We
Like-
appreciate you coming in.
All right, thank you very much, I appreciate it.
Next item is, our next section is department updates. We'll start with you, Dave.
Well, we are currently, as we speak, milling Suffolk Lane up off the industrial park up off of Pearl Street, almost in Ashburnham. It's supposed to rain tomorrow. We should be putting a leveler course on that on Wednesday. Come back, adjust the structures, and then paving it hopefully next week. Hopefully pretty quick turnaround up there. From there, we have Timpani Boulevard, a portion of Main Street, say from CVS down to the Rotary. That portion's gonna get repaved. Currently, the Unitil is up there installing a gas line, so there's, Unitil's doing some work ahead of us.
No kidding.
But they're, well, better do it now than when the
Oh,
pavement's
absolutely.
fresh and dig through it. So that they're doing that. Once they're done, we're gonna come up in the island in front of Stas Kalis that has 2 crosswalks, one on each side of the road. We're gonna extend the island up towards the police station slightly, maybe 10, 15 feet, so that the crosswalk is on the, above the Stas Kalis building, so that when you're coming down Main, at least you can see a pedestrian in that crosswalk. So we have some work to do, in-house to do before we pave that road, but it's on the agenda. From there, we're gonna be going with the gas company. They have some work to do on Logan and Washington Street. When they're done, we're gonna be going in right after that to mill and pave the street, Logan and Washington Street. From there, we have Meadowbrook and Dinan Drive and Housley, which is, it starts in Ashburnham, right on the Ashburnham-Gardner line, and then the end portion of the dead end is actually in Gardner, so we're paving the dead end of that. On Meadowbrook and Dinan, there are 2 apartment complexes again off of Pearl Street. We're gonna be redoing the sidewalks, actually installing a brand new sidewalk, because there's not one currently on one of them up there. There's a lot of school children that walk down and pick up the bus at the end of Pearl, so we thought it would be a good idea to put a sidewalk and a bus stop up there. So that's the paving. We have a sidewalk, the gas company, I believe, is all done on Fredette right now. Now we can come in and we can finish doing the sidewalk and finish paving on Lower Parker and Fredette Street. We should be finishing that up. We're hoping to wrap everything up by November, is our goal, before snow flies. Questions on paving?
Questions on paving? Just from a priority standpoint, obviously, people watching, how do we prioritize and make decisions as to which streets, which streets are next?
Every couple of years, we, the DPW, the city engineer, we drive around the city and we rank just on a 1 to 4 basis. If it's a Hollowell road, it's a 1. If it's a brand new paved road, it's a 4. And somewhere in between, if we can crack fill it, it might be a 3. And if it's a lot of potholes, but we might be able to buy a couple of years, it's a 2. So we rank the roads. We also prioritize it based on traffic, whether there's a hospital, a school, police, ambulance routes, things like that. We try to prioritize the roads, so we give that a ranking. We add it up and we rank and prioritize every street in the city. From there, we pass that on to the mayor. We sit down, we have a discussion. Unfortunately, we have $30 million of roads that we need to pave, and we can only afford $1.5 million. So we have to, he ultimately chooses what streets are paved, and unfortunately, we just don't have enough funds to pave everything that's needed. That's how it's done.
It's pretty good summation. Fairly quick.
Never-ending battle.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that's paving. We just finished a contract, finalized a contract to do tree trimming and removal within the city. So mayor and council approved $40,000 for the DPW to hire an outside contractor to come in. We are compiling a list. We should probably have it finished this week to give to the contractor. And based on his schedule, we'll go on. We're going to start removing trees throughout the city. We have enough budget for 4 weeks of tree trimming and removal. So we have the contractor on hand for 4 weeks. So we're going to try to pick the worst ones and go at those trees.
Yeah. Just explain, and if we could just explain too, you have a hearing on all these trees.
Yes, any tree that's a public shade tree, we have to have a public hearing. We advertise it, I believe it's 2 times in the newspaper, and we put it on Facebook and the city's website. We physically post every single tree that we have to, so there's a plastic marker with the date and time of the public hearing. That's stated, that's advertised. We have the hearing usually at the mayor's conference room or city council chambers. It happens maybe once every 2 years because we have a limited staff, so we can only remove so many trees anyway. So we post it and have the tree hearing.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, it takes us a couple of years to get to every tree.
And you said that, just looking at the email you responded earlier for Mike Horgan, that'll be on this list.
Specifically said that the tree on the corner of Willis and Chapel,
Great.
and there's some on Temple that I'm concerned about that.
Okay.
There are.
Thank you.
We're moving ahead with salt shed. It doesn't look it, but behind the scenes, we've got plans in place. We just received the foundation plan. So from that, we will pursue getting a building permit. We have to go in front of the planning board as well, and go in front of the planning board and give our speech about the salt shed. Once we get a building permit, we can hire a contractor to do the tree clearing and the grubbing across the street, which we've already got a contract. It's just waiting to catch up basically with the paperwork before we can acquire them and get them out there. Chances are 99% sure that we're not gonna have the salt shed built this winter, so we'll have to, but in a good way, we'll be emptying the salt shed and having the new one in place for next year. That's our plan.
Excellent.
On the city side, we have 8 vacancies currently, out of 25, so we're at a little more than 25% vacancy rate. The contract was at least handshake as far as the new contract for the guys. It just hasn't been finalized. Once that contract is finalized, I think I can get more staff in here at the DPW. So that is moving forward. It's positive.
So fully staffed is 25, or is it 32? 32.
Fully staffed on the city side would be 25.
25. So you're currently operating with 17?
Yep.
Or 16?
17.
17, okay. Gotcha.
No, you're right. Yeah, 17. Up in off of Leo Drive, the park up off of Leo Drive, we have disc golf that's about 95% complete.
Okay, did a great job.
Yeah, I heard a lot of good
Yeah.
feedback about that park.
Yeah, they did a great job. All the front 9's completed. We're gonna be working on the back 9, but I gotta pull them out of the woods and get them out on doing the crosswalk on Spasticales Island and things like that. So I have 2 guys basically out there that will be putting them on other work, but they're 95% done. They'll be done. I'm pulling them out Friday. So next week we start other city projects with that staff. But plan is we're gonna do the back 9 either over the winter, starting in the spring or something. So we want to make it the best course in the state. That's our goal.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Lastly, OC Playground, as luck would have it, city spends 75 grand, we put up a new playground equipment down there. And a lone tree that was leaning the other way decides during a snow and windstorm to fall on top of the brand new playground equipment down there. We've met with the insurance adjuster, we filed a claim. It's actually all gonna be handled by the insurance company, the city's insurance company. They're gonna remove the old equipment, they're gonna install new equipment at the insurance company's expense. Unfortunately, there's a couple of month order date, so if they order it by August, we're not gonna take delivery until October. So that best case, it would be installed by November, probably realistically not until spring, but at least it's gonna get replaced.
Excellent.
That's all I got.
That's it.
That's it. There's a lot more, but.
We appreciate it. Any questions for you? All right, next person up, Rob.
So I don't have as much as Dane did. A couple of things. We applied for a grant from Mass Trails to continue with the design of the Route 140 pedestrian bridge. That was announced a few weeks ago, so we get $300,000. The city matches, I think, $75,000 to bring that design up to 75% construction. So we're already talking with our consultant who did the original 25% design and went through Mass DOT. They're updating their cost and scope based on where we want to get to with this grant, with the urging of Mass DOT to apply again in the next grant cycle for finishing the design. So the hope there is to get the design of that bridge leading up to construction entirely paid for through grant, well, besides the match, but through grant money. So that was good news. So hopefully we'll be working on that design again shortly and getting that thing moved forward finally. So that was one thing. The other thing, and it's on the agenda and it's a new packet, we have a draft stormwater and erosion control regulation which piggybacks on our stormwater ordinance. This is something that, as part of our stormwater permit with EPA, we have to do. And the biggest part of it is it addresses construction and post-construction, the requirement of an as-built plan, inspections.
What type of plan?
As-built. So project comes in, say, a new Tiffany Crossroads. At the end of the project, they would be required to basically have an updated survey plan of that site with all the stormwater that's been installed, showing that it conforms to the original plans that were approved. So that's what an as-built plan is. Eventually leading up to a certificate of compliance. So what this does is it just gives a lot more guidance and requirements for submittal of a stormwater management plan. What's not in here, but will be included eventually, is a permit application form. But again, this is required under our permit to get this in place. It's not, it's already authorized under the stormwater management ordinance that the stormwater authority, which in this case is DPW, can come up with a rules and regulations similar to under zoning. You can have a subdivision rules and regulations, which is basically a well, it's not a regulation under zoning, that's a bad analogy. But the ordinance allows for the creation of this document. So while I don't believe it needs a vote either from the council or the committee, I wanted you to at least see it beforehand, to know this is where we're going. So I hope to have this. If you have comments, I'm happy to take them, look at questions on it, or want to see something different. I mean, we can certainly take that into account. But the goal is to get this in place and then report back to EPA that we've done our part. And then the work becomes more, for me, really, in following through with these and making sure new applicants come in. In most cases, projects that would need to conform to this are either going through the planning board with a site plan approval or the Conservation Commission for a notice of intent. They would then be the authority to make sure it gets done. Certainly, I'm sure I'll be involved as well. There may be instances where neither of those agencies are needed for a permit, then it would go straight to the DPW. But for the most part, it calls for, well, there's lots of requirements. The biggest are basically when you go through it for phosphorus removal and TSS removal from sites. That's a requirement of the EPA that's been bumped up, and the state standards are bumping that up as well. So this is just in keeping with our permits. You know, there'll be more work on our end when this goes into place to make sure, you know, the applicants.
It's a management tool, right?
Yeah, it's exactly what it is, and it's good for the environment because it's, you know, helping reduce pollution off this, you know, newly developed sites. So, but that's, if you have questions, I can certainly try and answer them.
Do you have any questions? No questions? No questions from me either. I appreciate you taking the time and putting this forward for review as well. And you say we don't have to take action on it, we're fine with that. I'm fine with that for now. I'll look through it a little bit more. If I have any questions, I'll reach out to you as well.
Yeah, let me know if, you know, the sooner I get this, you know, just let me know.
Yeah, 100%.
And then what I'll do, the next step would be is, it will get posted on our website, it'll be up there, engineers or, you know, contractors can get it. I may even, I have lots of engineers' emails that, you know, who work in the city, I may, you know, just send out a mass email saying, hey, this is now in place, just so you're aware, and, you know, follow its requirements, and here's the application, so.
We see we've never had this in the past.
Yep.
It's a new requirement, right?
It's been there for a little while, we've been a little late getting to it, but, you know, we're there, it's ready to go, so.
Thank you.
That's what I have for you today. Well, the Rotary will give you an update on that. You can clearly see what's going on at the Uptown Rotary. I think it looks great. I think when everything's finished up, it's gonna look great. I hear mixed reviews. We hear people saying that you can't drive around it. I know it's designed to certain standards. It's been vetted through Mass DOT. We've gotten some complaints. We have an email, I think Dane forwarded to me, a gentleman who has a commercial license, drives a tractor trailer, saying he would never even try to drive through it, which I find shocking. I've seen tractor trailers go through there already with no real.
It's built so you can drive over it anyways.
It's sized for commercial traffic. It's not, we've all been on smaller ones. I know there's one in particular in Fitchburg where
100%.
I see tractor trailers just drive right over the middle of it.
River Street.
Yep, so,
The new one on 140.
yep, in Sterling.
Yeah.
I think part of it is, it's just the base coat, so when you're looking at the berm
Yeah.
and the
Looks
lips,
higher.
it looks so much higher, but once they put that top coat on, it's gonna look a little.
Yeah, the inner circle has a berm, which is called a mountable berm, and so if a large vehicle goes through and does have a little trouble, they can drive over it. But I think if, with a little extra effort, you can maneuver that rotary with no issues.
I feel like it slows people down coming in and then going, I'm like, all right, at least people are pausing a little bit
Yeah.
more than they were.
That's the biggest thing, cars that were coming on from Elm Street and Pearl were always at a conflict, because Elm Street basically went straight into it. So people on Pearl were always waiting, and you never knew, because nobody would yield. So it makes everyone come straight into it now, so it slows everybody down.
Somebody did, one of our residents was asked, saying that it was dark at night. Is there any change in lighting there?
I don't believe there's any change in lighting.
They're saying it's really dark, I don't know if they're just,
Yeah, I've never really considered that. I'll have to take a look at that one next time I drive
I
through.
must go to bed too early.
I believe there are streetlights in the area though, you know, on the poles.
There are.
Yeah. I'll look at that. In talking to the contractor, their goal is to be done prior to school starting, which would be great.
Excellent.
So they have a fall, I believe, October deadline, but I know they want to be out of there sooner than that. So if they get out before school starts, I'd be very happy with that.
Interesting to see how it operates during school.
Yeah, I would think, I mean, it's designed to.
Should be better.
Yeah, so I think people hopefully will see a noticeable difference, and that everybody gets a fair shot at getting into the Rotary.
Mhm.
So,
And eliminates traffic accidents, which was one of the biggest goals.
100%.
That's what I have for you today.
Thank you very much, appreciate you reviewing that, and giving us the details. You have any further comment on that? All right, lastly, it is Conservation Committee updates. I know that
So-
you're not Doug.
So, just to bring you up to date, Doug has left the city, as of, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, so in the private sector. So I just wanted to come here and just give you a quick update on that. We've interviewed 5 candidates for the job, and it's very hard to find someone with experience. We do have one candidate with a small amount of experience, and I'm probably going to be calling him back along with another candidate for a second interview this week. Hopefully make a final determination by the end of the week. And so hopefully we'll have somebody on board mid-August, mid to late August.
So in the interim, what happens with your handling all of Doug's role and responsibility?
As much as I can. I mean, it places a little more onus on the Conservation Commission and the chairman in general, but I try to help as much as I can, and Christine Fuso helps out with the agendas and coordinating all the paperwork for the meetings and things like that too, so just do our best to help out. There's only so much we can do.
Any questions? Thank you for reporting out, and I wish you the best with finding a replacement for Doug.
Thanks.
Council requests.
Nothing at the time.
I have nothing. I asked, yeah, I did ask about the determination on tree removal, but you kind of elaborated on it earlier, so I think I'm good there. Appreciate your time. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion made, seconded. All those in favor, aye.